Well, I'm always the bearer of good news. Tax season is set to kick off on the 1st of August. Due to COVID-19, taxpayers will now be provided with new and advanced platforms to file online without having to visit a branch. South African Revenue Service says the plan is to keep everyone safe and avoid long queues at branches across the country. But how will this work? Does SARS have enough capacity to cater for all taxpayers trying to file online? Well, for more on this, I'm joined in studio by eNCA's Heidi Giokos. So, Heidi, good evening.
Good evening.
1st of August, tax season starts. I mean, I thought that you were going to come in and tell us that tax has been cancelled because of the pandemic. No such luck.
Unfortunately not.
All right, so tell us about this whole online system. We've gone quite online already with paying taxes. So how much more is being introduced this tax season?
Definitely. So we do understand that previously SARS had a major issue with e-filing and they've now revised their system. But basically what's happened is because of COVID-19, SARS wants to ensure that as many people stay at home as possible. They don't want an influx of people coming in to file for the tax season. So they've created a new system called auto assessment. And what it does, it basically takes in all your medical aid claims and whatever other claims. They have all your documents already because you're paying tax. And they do an assessment themselves with this new technology and data capturing that they have. So they are able to make an assessment for you already. They basically file your returns on your behalf. You check that everything is in order. The minute that is done, you're good to go. So you don't have to go into a branch. If there are any issues, you need to book an appointment at a specific branch to go in. But already, today's been the first day since it's basically launched, and you have 62,000 people that have already used this new auto assessment system. Wow. And the SARS Commissioner, Edward Kiswetter, is basically saying that it's worked extremely well, with the majority filing successfully, but he's also picked up a number of people taking chances and not claiming properly. But let's listen to what the Commissioner had to say about that.
To allow more functionalities online and to shift a lot of our work into the online environment. And we were able to do that because of expanding, increasing our ability to work with data. You may not know that from the employers and providers of third-party data, we're able to get around about 126 million data records of taxpayers. We then suck that into our machine, impose machine learning algorithms on that, the so-called artificial intelligence. And that allows us to actually be ahead of you submitting your return.
You know, it's interesting, Heidi. It reminds me of when SARS was just one of the jewels in our crown in South Africa, which was a really fantastically functioning organisation. I'm getting a sense that we're almost getting back to that stage. It seems really, really organised, but of course, massive concern about tax collection figures, and we're just not going to collect enough this year, are we?
Definitely not, and it's an interesting point you make about how it was once the jewel, because that was highlighted in the SARS inquiry a couple of years ago, where the technology and the systems that SARS had were world-class, top-class, and that was decimated. And the Commission is now trying to pick that up. And with this new technology and advancements that they have, they are trying to make sure that they are world-class again. But speaking about the billions that are being lost, and I think this is on top of everybody's minds, especially the Finance Minister, because we need to quantify the losses when it comes to the lockdown, businesses shutting down, not being able to collect tax when it comes to tobacco. But what the Commission is saying is he's basically figured out that they've lost 82 billion so far, and a lot of that comes from the losses in VAT, not being able to collect VAT. 15 billion amounts to under collection in VAT. Personal income tax, also about 15 billion rand. But the big thing here is what is happening when it comes to tobacco and alcohol, because there is a ban. And he's estimated that it's about 15 billion, even though they were saying it's about 35 million a day, which amounted to 4 billion. The SARS Commission is saying it's a lot more, and it's probably going to get worse for as long as the ban is in place. Let's listen to what the Commissioner said about that.
As of the 15th of July, we were lagging 2.2% behind that new estimate that the Minister set. But the more important data point is that we were already lagging 23% year on year. So we have had a 23% contraction year on year, which is just over 82 billion that we have undercollected. Of that undercollection, about 15 billion is on personal income taxes. Another 15 billion is on VAT undercollections.
Right, so not enough money coming in. The other thing that we're hoping to see SARS do is ramp up, clamping down on illicit activity, people who are not paying their dues, essentially. Any update on that?
Exactly. So the SARS Commissioner actually indicated that they are working with other law enforcement agencies, such as the Hawks and SAPS. And so far, from April to about mid-July, they've been able to seize 80 million in illicit trade when it comes to cigarettes. So they are trying to clamp down. It's very difficult. Of course, we know people are still smoking, buying cigarettes and alcohol as well, despite the fact that there is a ban. But they've also made strides in rhino poaching and second-hand gold trade, which is quite shocking. Exactly. So they are trying to clamp down. It's obviously a very difficult environment that they're in.
Well, thanks very much for the update.